What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 10 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Tzarina Katarin Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, the man, the myth, the legend, Yuriy Zinoviev has returned to us to banish the darkness from the motherland, and I suppose cleanse the Darklands and the Chaos Wastes as well. He's just got started and I expect great things for him, he is a jolly good fellow, I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna send him around with Victor Zamvin for now until we can get him some troops, and we will ferry a few of the Acolytes of Ursun. Okay, there. Acolytes of Ursun to him, and then see where we go from there, together with his command squad. Otherwise, this time around, we'll be trying to knock out Clan Ferric. We've got this little Blisterkin army across the sea that we possibly, might be able to attack with Tzarina Katarin, or at the very least, I hope so, and since we've been able to knock Azazel's main stack out once again, hopefully we can push him back all the way to the Tower of Crack. Before we get started, as you may have guessed, or as it is plainly visible, this is the bonus episode today, as promised, as we did more or less reach the engagement streak there. A little bit short on Friday, but close enough, I think, to warrant the streak. I am a man of somewhat my word, after all. As for the continuation of the hour-long episodes, 350 likes and 50 comments, I think? Something along those lines, and the next episode will be an hour long as well. Anyway, if you missed the first episode, once again, do note that I posted 2 today, so yeah. Let's see what we've got. Fort Dwarslav was taken, and we do have to retake it because we can't use commandments otherwise, so we'll send Mr. Victor Zaman to go there and to heal up as well. Not that I think it would be needed to fight some basic Skaven armies, but we'll see what they've got. We could channel, what, 20 mana? I think the mana might be a little bit more valuable than fully healing up the armored Kossars. Then we'll send Yuriy, I guess, to the edge of this territory. I don't know whether we'd be able to reach Carrick Doom, but we also probably shouldn't keep the two armies too far away from each other. Oh, actually, it doesn't matter, because Yuriy does not yet have any way to siege attack like the Little Groms. I take it neither Gotrek or Felix have it. No, they don't. Alright, so it has to be Victor Zamvin that reaches it, which means we'll have to wait a turn. An additional turn, I should say. But I guess that'll allow us to heal the armored Kossars by moving there anyway, so that'll work. Alrighty, now, Tzarina Katarin, well, we'll move you last because I want to see what we've got going on over here. Vladimir Mikheyev, you're moving to Fort Ostrosk. So try to get there like so. Interesting that you're trying to cross like here and not along the road, but hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us in any way. You're recruiting, and you're going to take the troops allowing Mother Ostankya too. Once she reaches level 12, mind you, we'll probably send her to reinforce, to transfer those units over. Mikhaila Fedukova. I promised last episode that if you failed, you would become Beledna. But you succeeded. Ooh, just stave off that fate, would you? Alright, well, now you have to go back to failing 3 times in a row, I think, to become Beledna, the critical failure again. Though, funnily enough, she hasn't had a single critical failure, so there is that. But Beledna, the critical failure, critically failed multiple times. I will never forget it. The only sort of ironically... Ooh, hello. We got trade agreement. The only sort of... 565 though, it's not much. I wonder if we wait if they'd be willing to pay more. I'll think about it. And we probably should get a trade agreement going, but it would probably be better to do it with a stronger Elven faction, as we'd be able to get more money out of them. I'm not 100% sure exactly how trade works, but bigger factions, more territory tends to mean better trade. So we'll see next turn. For now, I think that's pretty much all we have to do other than building. Unless, let's see, we don't need to build anything here, and in fact, oh, we have like no money. Wasn't there a church somewhere that we wanted to build? Oh, we were already building it at Nevkazi. I guess we'll gain a little bit of money by fighting this guy. Alright, might as well upgrade for Dwarslav. Go for Awaken the Land. Actually, you know what? if Tzarina Katarin lands here, she'll want the additional movement speed / range. And it's not like this place is generating a ton of money, so let's go for Purge the Steppes first, and then we'll switch back towards Awaken the Land after. Alright, and since we've no further cash to spend, once again just double checking for Patriarch places. What about our Ottomans? You are good where you are, and you would probably want to reduce the costs of stuff here. Namely, the defenses at Great Skull Lakes. However, we kept you here because we still want to upgrade Plesk and a bunch of other stuff, but I guess we can send you here first because we need the defenses at Great Skull Lakes. So, Ottomans, you go here to Zorna's school, and then we'll send you back after. Alright, Tzarina Katarin, let's see if this works. We've got your points assigned, let's see if you can attack the enemy. So go right beside this guy. And ooh, she got her sled last episode as well, which means if this works, we'll be able to try it out. And work it will. Alright, you're gonna get the Steel Standard, popping your speed up to 143. I'm very interested to see whether the sled functions, or how well it functions. We could also actually give you the reload reduction and weapon strength increase as well. I wonder if that's the better option. Missile strength 690, regular strength. Like this, you get 734 and 217. But the speed would probably help you in annoying enemy infantry. You know what? Let's start with the Steel Standard, and then I'll think about it. And we'll see how you do. Oh, you know what? The War Banner maybe should go on one of the other war sleds then. Alrighty, away we go.
We cannot falter, for all the world depends on Kislev. Fight with pride, my people!
Alrighty, here we go, debut of the Tzarina's personal war sled with the Ice Guard on board as well, and that's a much smoother ride than the Frost Worm. Admittedly, 143 speed makes this thing pretty ludicrously fast. And what kind of mass do we have again? We are at 2.5k, eh? Alright, letting the Ice Guard get a few of those shots off. Don't look like they do too much damage. In fact, not sure they killed any units. Yeah, they didn't kill any units, just did 300. Okay, so the range units on top do nothing. Let's see how the melee does for this unit. By virtue of the fact that the range units do nothing, that means the War Banner is probably wasted on the War Sled. Now let's charge on through. There we go. Lovely effect from Tzarina's ability. And how's that charge do? Alright, single charge. Oh, we got 6 kills and 8.5k damage, but how much of that was to the spell and how much of that was to the sleigh? Hard to say. Anyway, I guess we just keep on charging. There we go. You can't stop the sleigh. Yeah, the enemy infantry line is going to have a tough time in dealing with this thing. This is kind of like using Cetra, isn't it? Alright, well, that's one charge through the enemy line. Let's get another one on through, moving uphill this time, so that might slow us down, but by the looks of it, it won't slow us down enough to stop us. And we can just keep doing this forever by the looks of it, as the enemy doesn't have any kind of units that could stop us. Slow the enemy down, and before we activate the spell, I'm curious to see, we're at 20, for the love of, let me select Tzarina Katarin. 29 kills and 34k damage. Alright, so we did about, what, 30k damage from, a little bit less, from the sleigh before casting any additional spells. That's not too bad. The kill count is relatively low, but the damage is certainly there. Anyway, we move in, we annoy the enemy, we slow them down with a little bit of frostbite and a little bit of ice sheet, and then we drop a blizzard on the biggest concentration of enemy plague bearers, and then out of the blizzard, Tzarina Katarin's sleigh and goes back to continue irritating the enemy. The blizzard gets her another few kills and bumps her damage up to 74k as we continue moving through the enemy lines. And yeah, there we go. The damage is certainly climbing. But this does require a ton of micro compared to the Frost Room. The Frost Room can just sit there and dish out damage as well. Though it's difficult to make a direct comparison. This must be so irritating. And the enemy does keep dropping those Spirit Leeches from their Lord upon us, but Tzarina Katarin has quite the spell resistance at 50%, so she should be just fine. And of course, most of the enemy army is being disrupted like the sand slowed down. They are starting to head towards our main line, but not really the biggest concern to us at the current time. Oh, it looks like the enemy has managed to slow Tzarina Katarin down, and just to clear her way, we're going to drop the Hawks of Miska on top of them and dish out a little bit of damage. Why the Hawks of Miska this time? Mostly because Blizzard was still on cooldown. Otherwise, I would have just had her drop another Blizzard. Ooh, I suppose with Heart of Winter, once we get the spell, then this will be pretty nice as well. Well, just keep on going, and it looks like Tzarina Katarin has done enough damage to some of these Plague Bearers to set them melting away, and it's time to book it towards the other big blob of enemies. And hers isn't the only sled in town, as the heavy war sleds make their way downhill as well. They kind of get in each other's way a little bit. Tzarina Katarin's is much, much faster than the heavy war sleds, more than twice as fast, so they can't keep pace. Even the light war sleds wouldn't be able to keep pace with this. I guess there's nothing in the roster that would remotely keep pace with this. This is ridiculous. But it is entertaining. Alright, just try not to get into each other's way, and the enemy has still not reached our Zargard or Ice Guard, who are at a very nice location up on top of this cliffside or mountainside or hillside, and able to fire down. And the enemy has a heck of a high ground to reach. Also, before I forget, I do believe to this point I should have dropped the vote for the High Elves campaign, as the High Elves topped out in our community vote. So if you want to vote for the High Elf SFO Lord for the next campaign, please do so. Your voice matters after all. And it looks like Tomb Kings will be the second one, but they're still not significantly higher than Skaven or whatever the next vote is, so we still have to decide on the second one. But High Elves will definitely be the first next campaign. Anyway, War Sleds and Tzarina Katarin continue causing absolute havoc in the enemy lines of infantry, none of them taking any real damage, and Tzarina Katarin up to 124,000 damage. Not bad. Though admittedly, she's reached similar kinds of damage with her Frost Worm as well. Anyway, finally the enemy is, well, not quite reaching our lines. A few of the Nurglings have managed to reach our single entities and our winged hussars, but that's probably not a place where the Nurglings want to be. Oh, and the snow leopards usually look so tiny compared to all the other monsters. I mean, they're still the size of a horse, but, you know, finally looking bigger than something, as the Nurglings are super tiny by comparison. Alright, Tzarina Katarin still riding around in the background. Once again, that must just be infuriating. Will some Nurglings be able to reach our Zargard? Oh, let's find out. Ice Guard absolutely obliterating them, hardly surprising once again with their magical damage. Nurglings will drop, and it looks like this Nurgling unit, another volley, will drop them as well. And there we go. Poor little guys never managed to reach the top of the hill, all the while their army is very much still in trouble. Tzarina Katarin, keep on moving. Together with the war sleds, I do believe the enemy lord has now separated himself from the rest of the army, and that's something for the Golden Knight to potentially do, though it's going to take a while on that very slow palanquin at 17 movement speed when frostbitten to make his way uphill, and we still got those Ice Guards sniping him. This is kind of a ridiculously good position to be in when you have a lot of slowing units available to you. And the volley from the Ice Guard takes the enemy lord down to half of his HP. We can move the war sleds up here and add their gunfire, armor-piercing gunfire, into the enemy lord as well, while Tzarina Katarin continues ramming her way through the entire enemy army. Down goes the enemy lord, pincushioned and ripped apart by Streltsy bullets, and that is the same animation as Epidemius. But Epidemius stays on his palanquin, whereas a regular herald disappears. Yeah, the main thing with this is this took so much effort to just constantly keep her moving. It's another reason why it was easier to keep the rest of the army all the way back while Tzarina Katarin was doing this. You basically have to choose between microing her properly and then microing the rest of the army properly. I mean, it was still easy enough to micro just the war sleds, but if you also put in the winged hussars and the snow leopards and the other single entities, on top of having Tzarina Katarin constantly move back and forth like this, it's quite a bit. On the other hand, 416 kills and 176 damage now. I think the enemy Plague Bears have just given up even attempting to do anything about this. They're not even trying to attack her anymore. I do wish that the Ice Guard on the sled did a little bit more damage, or that there were more Ice Guard up there, but I guess, I mean, 2 Ice Guard compared to a full unit kind of makes sense that they don't do anything crazy, and it sounds like we're not doing plenty of damage while riding around in melee like this. Hopefully this isn't making you guys dizzy. But if it is, you'll never be as dizzy as Tzarina Katarin on that Frost Worm anyway. And it looks like with that, the enemy army is giving up. The morale, or the balance power is at 100%. The enemy army will shatter and begin to melt away. Get a few more charges from Katarin in on all this. I wonder if I should have tried to keep the war sleds still rather than doing this. I wonder how effective it would have been if it was still. It doesn't have the Mortis Engine effect like the Frostworm does, so there is that to consider. But anyway, with that, the enemy army will melt away, and... Huh. Why is there a little nurgling right there? This guy doesn't have a head, but he does have a nurgling on his arm. I was just like, wait, was his head actually a nurgling all along? I don't know, but I am amused by the idea. That Plague Bearer was just nurglings in a trench coat. Anyway, very nice fight. Alright, well, there we go, folks. What do you think of the sled? If nothing else, that was probably the most annoying single unit I've ever seen. I mean, imagine being the other army and just not being able to do anything at all about this. Although the sled only does have 2.5k mass, meaning I feel like it would be trappable relatively easily with other cav and stuff, so we'll have to see. We got 439 kills and 186k damage. I'm not 100% sure how much of that was from spells and how much of it from the sled. I think, if anything, maybe we want to retest it in such a manner where we don't cast any spells with Katarin, and just to compare the damage from the sled versus the damage from the Frostworm. Once again, without the Frostworm, we lose the little mini Mortis Engine effect and the melee damage reflection, but we gain ludicrous speed and the ability to sort of run around. Though I suppose, like, I mean, it's not like the Frostworm was slow. It was still a very fast-moving unit. With the Frostworm, though, we're essentially fighting in one sort of blob, and we can, like we did before, fight together with the Golden Knight and the Patriarch and the Frost Maiden and whatever else we decide to bring into the blob, whereas with the sled, it essentially makes Tzarina Katarin move around by herself, as she probably has a difficult time keeping or staying together with the rest. Once again, hard to say. Anyway, we will take the money, because we need money. Go figure. Enemy killed in battle. Knights Square upkeep reduction for Acolytes of Ursun and Zargard. Won a battle with a Zargard unit. Well, that's lovely. Right now... Hey, Elf Brothers of Tor, Warbear Riders. Good. I assume you can't head out to sea this turn? Back out to sea? No, it doesn't look like it. Alright, well, not much we can do about that. We will head back out to sea another turn after. Now, you are about to have those Acolytes of Otasun. We will, I guess, give you... I forgot what the guy was called already. Knight Squire. Hopefully we get a few more of these guys. We'll give you this temporarily because we'll need to use those Acolytes of Osun for a turn just to level you up to level 12 so that we can have access to this for when we reset you, so that you can immediately get Mother's Rally and get access to the Hag Witches anywhere and everywhere, which would be nice without having to upgrade further the relatively expensive building. Now, What did we want to do here? You're a tier 2, so you're good. We do have the potential for upgrading the Desolation of Drakenmore, but at 3.36, it might be a little bit much on the expensive side. I think maybe we're fine. We'll need to save the money to upgrade the defenses here anyway, so I think that has to take priority as... well, I could get screwed again and Grimgor could go this way rather than this way. Who the heck knows? Who knows? That one will have to build up the walls here as well. Yeah, just lots of defenses to build, eh? A moment. You're the construction cost reducer and you're the speed reducer, so we could reduce the construction cost of this place. A moment. But it might be speed that we need more. Maybe we swap these guys around so that the construction cost reducer does the town and the defenses here. And blasted expense, but then they take 6 turns, and that's going to be a long time. I think we have an issue either way, I think. Nah, just stay where you are. Well, I guess there's 2 things to reduce in costs there, and there's only 1 thing here. There is that to consider. Yes, I'm nickel and diming every single possible thing. Alright, fine. You're gonna go here, you're gonna go here, you're gonna go here. Like so. Alright, and one of you increases the money making. Yeah, that works. You make a little bit more money over on this side as well. That all works for me. And then we'll need to move you all the way back here and reduce the cost of all that. Anyway, I think we'll hold on to the cash then until the Ottomans are ready. I do believe that's all we can do for this turn. Tzarina Katarin, you got a point to assign as well. And I guess it's time to get Heart of Winter. Probably could have helped while we were sledding around like maniacs. It was fun, but you go from basically no necessary micro at all with the Frostworm versus basically non-stop micro. I might sort of just bounce back and forth between the Sled and the Frostworm with her. It'll certainly make the specific battles, fairly different. Unassigned skill points, building upgrades, outposts available, double check, Diplo, and... oh, we already checked Diplo, yes. Let's end the turn with that. And let's see what we can do. Anybody else can attack us? Well, we don't know what Clan Ferric is doing. We killed their main stack, but we do know that they have another stack running around there somewhere. Now, let's see if it's running close to us.
My power is
Okay, Felhart. Didn't expect you. I need a brief break from all this glorious slaughter. Yeah, sure, man, that's not gonna happen. Not unless you're willing to give us way, and I mean way more money than 600 gold. The only way we'd take 600 gold for that is if it was of a benefit to us. As in, not the money, but the piecing out. Which it right now is very much not. Or right then very much wasn't. Alright, again, I want to be rewarded. Oh, minus 20 growth. Yeah, you know what? Now, because of the reduction in growth that this gives, I am indeed glad that we once again took the growth buff. Oh, magic losses and growth reduction. I want to be rewarded. Clan Molder confederates Ferric. Can't say I was expecting that. Huh. Well, that's interesting. We are no longer at war with Ferric. Fine, grid is destroyed. Let me think about this. Oh, Griffin Banner. Leadership reduction. Profit Wait, this changed. Did this change? I thought this used to be different. I thought it used to counteract the... negative public order and growth that you got from the debuffs, and then you gain a bunch of those. But 25% or 25 turns of experience gain increase is pretty good as well. It'll allow us to level up Uragni fairly quickly at the very least. Anyway, you two. Yeah, you cannot reach Carrick Doom, so I guess you're still going to encamp and move on over there.
The way is all the words.
And you're gonna do the same. You can channel, I guess. Not that you have a mage. We'll get you a mage, too. Since we're not at war with Clan Molder, technically they can't attack us. Huh. Watch them attempt to... No, I can't really do anything about Fort Dwarslav, and purge the steppes. Okay, wait, let me just see here. First of all, Tzarina Katarin, move into march stance, and head out to sea, please.
Follow the frosts.
You can land at Frozen Landing. Fine, land at Frozen Landing. It'll take a little bit longer to head to Sioktrek, and we'll move this way, I guess. Build Fort Dwarslav up. Or do we maybe not invest in this right now? Maybe it's not the best idea. We could invest in this. Okay, wait, let's just figure out what we've got. We do want to destroy Throt. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. We just can't reach Fort Ostrask. Okay, fine, game. If you're gonna be like that. We're going to move you all the way up to help it to take it next turn. Like so, and I guess you can keep channeling. Then we'll move Mother Ostankya in march stance all the way to here. Or we could go over here. Once again, we're not at war with Throt. You should be fine. Alright, fine. You're gonna go here in march stance. And then we're going to move you, sir, right here near to Prague. I don't think Throt would attack us here. How many territories does he have now? 6. 6. 1, 2. Krakadrek? He owns Krakadrek? Huh. That's interesting. I guess we can send Tzarina Katarin to Krakadrek then before backing to the lair of the Troll King. Okay, wasn't expecting that one. And then I take it Pillar of Souls, Tribe Slaughter, and Carrick Doom are all owned by this guy. Grimgor is a-coming. Next up we check Diplo. What do we got this time around? Carcassonne, you no longer want to trade. I should have probably traded. Ungol. You know what, I wasn't gonna do this, but now I'm thinking maybe we do. Okay, you know what? We're going to go Defensive Alliance, and we're going to ask for a trade agreement to get the money. And then we're going to join Confederation. Why? Because they have another army here. We could use it temporarily just to take over these territories and then delete it immediately after. It'll cost us, it'll probably take us down to like 0, but that's fine. It'll be fine for a turn, I think. Join Confederation. Plus, Kislev seems to get no Confederation debuff, so there isn't really any reason... Ooh, minus 2.4k. There isn't a reason to do this. What do we have here? A Loyal Sentinel Družina and, ooh, a Ice Witch Lord. Infantry focus, not bad. Upkeep reduction for infantry. Not as good as the upkeep reduction for infantry we get for the Družina, but it's something. Magical Warrior cooldown, and Blessed are the Foot Soldiers, 10% weapon strength for infantry. No, alright, and you're an Ice Witch of Tempest, eh? You work. You very much work. Okay, so what we'll do is we will transfer your stuff. Mostly Cossars. Ah, they're not the Spear Cossars, but what can you do? Like so, and oh, forgot the... Yeah, my bad. Do that. Then we delete you, sir, assuming once again that you have no items, which you do not. Is Castle Alexandrinov tier 2, unfortunately. I mean, grab the Sea Corps to pay some of the money that we got. We'll probably need to immediately build a defense here. Not much of a choice in the matter, I think. As long as Wolfric remains alive, as long as the Fecondites are here, there's a decent likelihood that it'll eventually get attacked by something. Also this potentially to attack Zavastra, but we'll see about that. Alrighty, well, we're preparing for war with Throg. Mikhaila Fidikova. And go for Arnheim again. And it's another success, okay. she didn't like the threat of becoming Beledna the Failure and losing her individuality, I guess. Go out here. Patriarch, and we move the guy here, right? So Palisade, most definitely. I mean, to maintain enough money so that over the end turn we can still, another Shrewd Advisor, good. We can still build stuff. Then, Blasted Expanse, we could start on a church here. It's relatively cheap. And if we do this, we won't have enough money, so we'll have to wait, unfortunately. Now, you're the construction time reducer, and you're the cost reducer. But there's nowhere to send you, eh? Ooh, we'll need to reduce the construction costs here in Kislev. Ah, speaking of Kislev, you can pop into Awaken the Land now, since we won't be recruiting for a little bit. Probably a fair bit, since we just got a bunch of new stuff.
Die well, pigs, but
Probably not until the thing's in the woods. Alright. The rest looks good, and that's another end turn unless I'm mistaken. I do want to check if anybody wants to peace out, though. Blessed Dread and Tallyman. You know what? Peace out with the Tallyman. I don't want another army sailing down here, so we will deal with them later on. It's not a lot of money, but I don't want them to build up an army and then just cancel their likelihood to be friends. You are still not willing to give us enough money for us to be willing to peace out with you, so that's fine. And that's an end turn. Let's hit those rats simultaneously, as well as the Zazel's faction. I'm hopeful. Where are you going? I'm hopeful we can essentially put all of these factions on the back foot. You want us to join war against the Drippin' Fangs? Are you still alive, Drippin' Fangs? That's kind of impressive. I'm actually shocked that they haven't redeclared war on us. I also hope that that wasn't Grimgor I just saw in the corner of my eye. What do we got down here? Well, still no Grimgor. Not as yet. He's coming eventually. Not willing to peace out yet either. Well, hopefully Zatan can keep him busy. Now, we are once again losing money, so we need to do this quick. So, first of all, Victor Zamvin, you are heading here. We need to declare war on Throt by joining it via either Reichland or Wissenland or the Great Orthodoxy, whoever is willing to give us more cash. Before we do, though, Mother Ostankya. Oh, these armies are here. No, we probably wouldn't be able to catch Throt. What about this little army? I wish I knew what else was in there, because our troops are really basic. Which is a shame, but, Alright, well, either way, you're gonna grab Fort Ostrowsk for us. There's a little army there. And close victory, eh? You know what, I think we can't risk the army getting damaged, so we are going to fight this. I kind of wanted to see Mother Ostankya and the Acolytes of Ursun in action anyway, so it's not a big deal. You can... Oh, damn you, bloody Hamathane Thrust. Can we reach you? Maybe. Yes, we can. Alright, kill him. I would imagine he's auto-resolvable. Oh no, wait. Close victory against this. Alright, I'm not really willing to fight this. I'm just gonna hope that we can out-heal whatever's happening here. Yeah, should be. And then take the money. We need it. Potion of Toughness, nice. A Ritual Enforcer, also nice. We might have to transfer that to somebody else. You cannot encamp, unfortunately, but I guess you can channel. I take it we don't take attrition here. Yeah, but we won't heal there either, and we do need to heal. I mean, I guess if we travel down, right, to the edge of this, what's the likelihood that we can hit Krakadrak next turn? I'm gonna hope that it's reasonably high. Yeah, the Maggot Host has taken the Tower of Torment, which is not good. And the reason that it's not... Oh, damn, he's pieced out with Archaon. Okay, they're coming. They're coming for us. Probably within the next turns, they'll both declare war on us. We need to shore up these defenses. Man, yeah, the Kislev campaign is really interesting. I'm loving it. Being surrounded by enemies is just so fun. Alright, Victor, or Vladimir rather, Mikhaev, you're gonna take Help It. I don't know whether we can take it with an auto-resolve or not. What's in here? Close victory, but low casualties, eh? Alright, these casualties better be real low. Wait, what? Auto-resolve? Yeah, one of the war sleds will die. Oh, you gotta be kidding me, game. You gotta be kidding me. Alright, fine. We're gonna manually fight this super quick, and then we'll probably do a little tiny cinematic battle for Mother Ostankya's fight, just because I want to see those Acolytes. Though I suppose we're possibly better off attempting to preserve their HP, but nonetheless. Alright, start deployment, and I mean, we're still gonna back away to reduce the amount of damage we take. We can set you two up back here. Our units aren't in formation? No, doesn't look like it. Alright, that's fine, not a big deal. Let's do three like this, and 2 like this, and then Unlike this. Do like this. Just to try to protect the more fragile regular costers a little bit. You protect the flanks from any, well, flankers. You go here. Frankly, I don't really care what direction you're facing. Same with the frostworms. And the same with the mage as well. And then we'll do a little bit of annoying the enemy with the ice sleds. See how quickly they can take out the marauder horses. Alright, start battle. Move on in. Turn off skirmish mode. Let's max speed this while we annoy the enemy, who apparently are not moving towards us. Alright, back away, back away, back away, back away. Don't take damage from that. Alright, let's speed it back up. I can't control all of them at max speed. Better yet to control them at normal speed. Alright, there we go. Alright, wait for the volley and then change direction. Ah, there we go. Change direction now and keep firing on them. Try to maintain... Hey, don't you run away, jerks. Get back here. I'd love to charge the infantry, but I think we're just going to have to annoy the enemy cap until they're done for. We won't be able to charge them, unfortunately, as these guys aren't fast enough. What we could do, I suppose, is have you guys charge... Ooh, those are Chaos Warriors? No, I thought those were Marauders. It's not. You guys, don't stop moving, though. Don't stop moving. Don't stop believing either, but don't stop moving. Alright, just keep on skirmishing a little bit, and I think we'll not charge. If the enemy wants to separate their army like this, it'll just make it easier for us. Since both the Rats and Azazel's faction are nearby, we do want to reduce casualties. Alright, you guys, please fire on those horses. It's going to take a long time to delete them otherwise. I think it's still probably going to take a long time to delete them, but at this rate, we're leading a good portion of the enemy army away. Hey, don't get any others away, war sleds, please. Looks like the enemy infantry are most definitely chasing us. How are we doing out here? Well, the doggos are coming, and move one of the frostworms to intercept them. You guys just keep leading the enemy around. Huh. It feels like the war sleds are moving a little bit slowly. These run at 74, we move at 75, which should be considerably more, but they're barely maintaining distance compared to the infantry. Okay, target those horses again. Kill them off if you can. And there you go, got a nice volley and then back off and then keep backing up. Horses are the only thing doing any kind of damage to us, but since there's no priority targeting, which I will complain about once again, there's no way to actually get these guys to fire at them. Alright, how are the rest of the enemy units? Doggos are nearly out and will probably melt away by range. You guys looking good now? Yeah, move this way. Maybe we can start forcing the enemy infantry towards us. Okay, Chaos Warriors certainly have to be a little... We have to be a little bit more wary of. Alright, go around the trees, and... well, the horsemen are out. And if the horsemen are out, turn around, go into melee, charge of those. You. Let's see if you can charge on through. Alright, the enemies are melting away, and go towards those Chaos Warriors. You. Go towards those Chaos Warriors. See if these guys have enough mass to stop you in your tracks. You will take a little bit of damage as you charge on through, but not so bad. Just gotta be careful and charge on through. Yeah, they definitely lose HP as they run, but hardly surprising. Alright, Frosty, move on in. And drop these guys. Alright, you guys return to the main line now. The charges weren't so bad. They certainly, the enemies took damage. And we can speed it up now. Enemy infantry will follow you a little bit, but the battle is nearly ours. You know what I'd like to remember? I'd like to remember if these guys continue losing their HP. Or not losing their HP. Okay, wait. Okay, normal speed. Trying to... I vaguely recall that there was a change, and these guys might still be hurt, so we need to heal them up just in case. Patriarch, come here, and Salyak them up. Alright, where's the other Patriarch? You come here. Oh, wait, that was the first Patriarch. Yeah, looks like the Salyak thing is doing pretty good for these guys. Oh, there we go. Did I get both the Patriarchs in here? Nope, he's stuck on some of the range units. Okay, fair enough. Good. Come on. Gonna find out for sure. Does this work post-battle? No, it doesn't look like that. Wait, did they heal slightly? Honestly, I couldn't tell. Honestly, I don't care. Turn. I guess we'll see if they recover to... now they do recover to full. Huh. Maybe it's only after auto-resolve that they're able to continue losing their HP despite not losing any models? Or maybe it was a fluke that I saw that once, because normally if you maintain all your models, you keep all your HP, but I saw at least once where that happened, where they had all their models but were still damaged. Interesting. Well, and now we know, or at least I know. Occupy the pool... yeah, hold on to it. Might as well. And don't collect the income here, certainly. We will build up the exotic animal tamer. And then... considering we only have the one turn, the income from all buildings isn't going to be too useful to us. I think the control is going to be necessary. Oh, you know what? No, go for the power of the church as the corruption needs to be reduced. Mother of Ostankya, we're going to do the same thing, but we're actually going to fight this one. A, because it's close victory for reasons. But B, because I want to see you and your Acolytes in action. Go.
The cowards amongst you tremble. Yet an old woman stands here, fearless before the foe. Now ask yourselves, do you fear the enemy more, or me?
I love you, Mother Ostankya. Alrighty, here we go. She's gonna get a nice volley into the enemy rats. This battle is probably not super necessary, as I've said, but I do want to see those Acolytes of Ursun in combat, and I do think that they'll look very appropriate heading into combat alongside Yuriy, so we are going to transfer at least some of them to his army. Alright, and they're ready to fight, but it'll take a little bit of time for the enemy army to get here. We are annoying said enemy force after all, with Mother Ostankya's attacks as well as the horse archers. Once again, Mother Ostankya's attacks are real flashy. Some pretty cool looking abilities. Let's see if we can't cast a few spells on the enemy here as well. There we go, more projectiles arcing over, and only one hit that time, but it looks like it knocked out plenty of units. How is Ostankya doing in terms of kills and damage? 2.4k damage and 12 kills, as opposed to 5 kills and 2.3k damage on the horse archers. Roughly even with each other, but I'm willing to bet that this would be a little bit more effective into big enemy blobs of enemies. Out here we also have our snow leopards, who have moved in all together and are holding back the enemy Chaos Warriors. They have armor-piercing damage, they have maim on the enemy, and there's a bunch of them together. That said, they are killing really slowly by the looks of it. They just don't have enough splash damage to quickly work their way through the likes of these enemies, but at the same time, the enemies aren't really able to damage them at all right now. It would have been better if we had like a couple of units of Chaos Knights for the Snow Leopards to contend with, but they'll have to deal with what they've got here. And we can move Mother Ostankya in to help as well, and maybe even drop a spell. There we go, her attack comes in, and there's our first Witch Brew, looking pretty cool as it knocks out a bunch of enemy Skaven and whatever else it hit there. The new lures do tend to be flashier than old lures as well of Magic. And this one looks pretty darn good as well. Actually, the color scheme reminds me of the Talons of Night, the Cathayan spell, which I think is the coolest looking spell in the game. Anyway, while all that is happening, the Marauders are fighting the Acolytes of Ursun over here, and we'll see whose axes are greater. Of course, the enemy has but one axe. I mean, I guess the better matchup would have been Berserkers versus the Acolytes, but I'm sure since we have plenty of Norskins to conquer still, and these guys will be able to get that going. And, oh damn, these guys booked it on out of there very quickly. I guess the Acolytes are a glass cannon, meaning they will dish out damage extremely quickly, even if they take damage themselves as well. And I guess perhaps we did too much damage to the rest of the enemy army to have a sufficiently long battle for these guys, but that's okay. This is only their debut, and they got to fight the Marauders at least a little bit here. We'll see them more. Anyway. Alright, there we go. Kind of an interesting battle. I was quite impressed with Mother Ostankya, considering she got nearly 15k damage with only a single breath spell, a single Witch's Brew out. The Acolytes of Ursun did take damage fighting Marauders, but considering they only have 30 melee defense at the current time, that's hardly surprising. I was expecting a little bit more damage from the Snow Leopards. Granted, they're much better hunting down larger targets, so if they were up against horses, or if they were up against ogres or other monstrous infantry, they would have done a lot better than regular infantry, but I am still probably going to make an army out of them, and just because, once again, you guys gave me so many names that I feel like I have to. We're going to occupy Fort Ostrosk, and you are not going to keep the Gambler's armor, because you have now reached rank 12, though... Wait, a moment. Exit the settlement. You go into Fort Ostrosk. You transfer all the units to this guy, and let's hope that this guy doesn't attack us with another like full stack that we can't see here to immediately destroy all of this. But if it happens, it happens. Alright, minus 386. That's a lot better than it was before. Mother Ostankya, it is now time, alas. Lose the Knight Squire, and I guess lose the Tollkeeper for now as well. Growth from the Steppe Shepherds, recruit rank. You're probably not going to be recruiting anything for a while. We'll probably use somebody else to recruit your beastie boys as well. I should name the things in the woods that. Yeah, there's a Scarecrow banner. I just lose all the stuff, including the Blizzard's Brooch and the Gambler's Armor, and then reset your skill points now, yes? Huh. And if we... I guess it doesn't really matter. Alright, reset your skill points, since they're garbage. I don't know what the AI did for you. Or to you, rather. Wait, rank 12? I should unlock the Crown of Claws as well. Hopefully we'll have her full army by the time we do the quest. There we go. She's out. Igor Talichev is in. He's also going to ferry these Acolytes over to Rogny, but it'll be a bit. I have the Razor Standard for now. And you're going to fight over the next few turns, so have a valet. Ritual Enforcer is what again? Oh, I got to remember that we have those. Knight Squire is what I want. Hopefully we don't lose those. Wait, 355? Did the Knight Squire not do anything? Minus 5% for Acolytes of Ursun. I swear it was 355 already. Huh. I gotta double check that. It includes Acolytes of Ursun, but what if it actually only works for the Zargard? Maybe I'll go over the video again just to see if the number changed. Maybe I was imagining things. Alrighty, now. We declare war on Throt. This has me concerned. Do we have defenses at Fort Castle Alexandrinov, though? Well, we do have some extra units. I'm wondering if these guys wouldn't attack us. Though if we could kill them while they're apart, that would be great. I really wish we could see what's in here. We do have enough movement to probably try to attack this guy and then see.
Master Engineer.
He has the Molder Clanstone, a Warlock Master with Warp Lightning on, it'll be annoying, and at least one unit of Warp Grinders, one unit of Storm Vermin, but who knows what the heck else. If it's a bunch of slingers and stuff, it wouldn't pose any kind of problem. If it's Doom Wheels or Doom Flayers rather, or Doom Wheels, and then this army wouldn't be able to stand up against them. Either way, it doesn't change the fact that we gotta declare war on them. So, once again, Reichland, Wissenland, and Great Orthodoxy. Who's willing to pay us more? Join war against Clan Molder. They'd be able to do a defensive alliance for that. War give us 2k. That was Wissenland. How about Reichland?
Ready. Friends of the Empire.
Clan Molder. 1.8k. What about the Orthodoxy?
For the arena and Nuln.
Kislev? Kislev? Oh, it's at the top. I was like, wait, K is... Okay, well, whatever. Initiate diplomacy, join... Oh! I just realized they lost their... Oh, you little idiots. Okay, well, we definitely can't have them losing Prague, that's for sure. Idiots. Join Morgan's Clan Molder, 6.9. Honestly, less than Wissenland is willing to give us. How's Wissenland doing? I guess we do a defensive alliance with them, or do we just take the money? I feel like they'll eventually do a defensive alliance with us anyway, so I think we can just declare war on Molder.
A satisfactory conclusion.
Like so. Alright, I can't believe you lost Aarongrad, Kastelton, and he was there himself, unless I'm mistaken as well. But oh well, we'll have to take it for ourselves then. You guys can no longer move, you. I'd like to see what's in this army.
I am the storm.
And if it's not something that we should be fighting, let's see what we have here. 4 uses of Menace Blow and 4 units of Storm Vermin, but the army is hurt. And they have a lot of mana. They are willing to fight us. The Lord is going to be a problem because he's got that darn Doomflayer and the Warp Grinders as well with their armor. You also have only Hailstorm and not a crazy amount of mana yourself. This is, however, a lot of Cossars. And if we destroy the... I mean, it's not like we care about any of these troops. We care about the Lord, I think, because we'd have to train up a new one. I'm willing to risk it. Go.
We are Kislev, greatest of kingdoms, purest of heart. We do not fail.
The filthy cowards were in hiding.
Alrighty, here we go. This should be a pretty interesting fight. Let's see if we can carry the day. Kislevite warriors versus Storm Vermin and Rat Ogres. Tier 1s versus Tier 3s. And with a very low Ice Switch as well. But she has an Ice Switch of Tempest, so if she should survive these next few turns, we will give her the name. Beledna the Defender, the other legendary lord from the Boris Ursus campaign. That's why I was so happy to see that she was a Tempest Witch rather than an Ice Witch. Anyway, it looks like the enemy has moved in some Gutter Runner Slingers with their stalk towards us, so they were invisible. But they sent them in unsupported, and that means they should be pincushioned and ripped apart with a single, well, maybe a couple of volleys. And there we go. The relatively unarmored rats will suffer greatly from that, down to about half HP. Volley again, and they're also attacking our armored Cossars, and while they have done about 10 to 15% of their HP and damage, they've only killed off a single unit, and they're wasting their slings on a armored unit rather than the unarmored regular Cossars. Plus, if the enemy wishes to feed units to us in this manner, I'd be more than happy to allow them to do so. Alright, and that unit is destroyed. Will they move towards us? It looks like at the very least some Night Runners are attempting to flank us, hidden like the other units were, and the enemy is once again going to attempt to make use of their stalking units. And we'll have our units target them as well. And just like they did the first ones, the Kislevite warriors will essentially screen the rest of our army, but not really run towards the rats, simply because we don't want the rats running away. We want to be able to kill them off with range, as these guys are effectively unarmored with only 10 armor. And they'll die very quickly under arrow fire. In fact, by the looks of it, they'll charge into the Kislevite warriors by themselves to escape the arrow storm. Alright, looks like a Warp Lightning comes down and clips one of our units of Kislevite warriors, but here comes the rest of the enemy army. Lots of things to watch out for. We have no way of easily bringing down the Storm Vermin, so we need to focus down the Rat Ogres and the 2 units of Warp Grinders. A Warp Grinder in the middle of our very fragile formation of unarmored units will absolutely destroy them with a warp quake. So hopefully we can prevent them from getting too close. Marauders helping out the Skaven and charging in to fight the Kislevite warriors. Armored Cossars moving forth as the center of our line. It looks like the enemy activates the first of their warp quakes, I guess, on those armored Cossars, or actually no, on the Kislevite warriors, and it looks like the warp quake has them routing pretty much immediately. Damn! They activated by our blood ones still at like 75% of their HP, and it looks like our front line is very much in shambles right now. 2 units of Kislevite warriors routing or in by our blood from the very first charge, and, well, kind of unsurprising where Storm Vermin attacking them are concerned. The leftmost flank is looking a little bit better, and we're going to have to continue trying to focus down the enemy. Another Warp Lightning comes down. Focus down the enemy high-value units, with the exception of the Storm Vermin, to make sure that those Warp Grinders aren't able to return. And if we can win the right flank, hopefully we can reinforce, or if we can win the left flank, rather, hopefully we can reinforce the left as well. Away go the Warp Grinders, only down to about half HP, so they will be back if we let them. Have to pay attention to that. The Armored Cossars holding back a bunch of enemy units in the center as well, and the Warp Grinders are also armor-piercing, so they should be able to rip them apart fairly quickly, and do so, dropping them down to about 20% HP. But as they run, we will leave a parting shot of a overcast hailstorm to hopefully damage Warp Grinder and Storm Vermin alike. Some more units of Kislevite Cossars holding here, or Kislevite warriors holding on the rightmost flank, but I do believe they're the last melee unit over on this side, and a seismic snare and another warp quake by the looks of it is activated. Damn those Warp Grinders. The enemy Lord is also being quite annoying on that Doom Flare. There isn't really much we can do about this, as the Ice Witch can't really fight in melee. All we can do is hope that one of our Kossar units can manage to land a few nice shots and or force the Warlock Master to ride. Yeah, just sit there and take a few arrows, buddy. Alright, on the bright side, we did manage to win on the leftmost flank with most of the enemy units routing. There was only a single unit of Storm Vermin on this side, and it was a halberd rather than sword and board unit. And as soon as the Rat Ogres were out, we were able to focus them down and pincushion them. The rightmost flank, our right flank, however, has completely collapsed, and it's only by our blood units of melee that are still holding, and a few of our range units that are being forced to hold the line as well. The enemy drops a Molder Clanstone as well in a pretty good position, healing up a bunch of their Storm Vermin. But we will continue dropping hailstorms on them and hoping that the hailstorms will outdo the healing, especially considering this isn't healing on a single entity or a monstrous unit, but on a blob of rats, which can lose models, which thus can't be healed. Alright, Storm Vermin and Clan Rats continuing to break on through and charge towards our units of range. Our melee line once again completely collapsed on the right flank, but we have plenty of support from range units on from the victorious left flank. The enemy Lord has routed and is booking it on out of there on that darn Warp Flare, but it does look like we won't be able to, or Doom Flare, it looks like we won't be able to bring him down as he manages to escape with 300 HP. Battle is very close, but the balance of power has shifted to our favor now. No more Warp Lightnings to be worried about in the middle of our formations, but our range units are going to have to do their best to hold back the Storm Vermin while our other range units continue to work. We also do have a few Kislevite warriors remaining from the left flank, but they're busy chasing a few of the enemy units around to make sure that they don't come back. Enemy center collapses by the looks of it, including some Storm Vermin booking it on out of there, and 2 units of Storm Vermin remain, but they were always going to be the last remaining units on the field, as they just have too much armor for us to deal with our basic army. And this sort of thing is going to be the problem for the other army that has mostly unarmored Kossars. And just because their lack of armor piercing is going to mean that we'll struggle against enemy infantry, and if you struggle against Storm Vermin, which are fairly weak form of mid to high tier infantry, or the weakest form, or one of the weakest forms of mid to high tier infantry, you're going to struggle against pretty much anything that's heavily armored. But anyway, it looks like with that we do manage to send at least this particular army scurrying away. We need to make sure that we drop as many of the enemy as we can, as we will hopefully have to, or have the ability to chase them down right after. We are, however, damaged, and it does depend on whether we can take out this army and Throt's army together. Alright, I wonder if the upgrades, I'm going to have to check later. We have some tech upgrades that increase armor-piercing damage on range units, but I don't remember if it's gun units specifically, or if it's all Kislevite range units. Ooh, Glittering Scales, another nice pickup. That one will certainly be of use. The army was, well, destroyed in the sense that it was routed, but it will be back for another go, because we didn't, well, completely destroy it. That said, if we heal, we should be able to chase it down and destroy it for good. I would wager the 2,000 gold does tempt me, I will admit. But I think it's more critical that we destroy these armies and put Molder on the back foot. Alrighty, now, I also notice that, tax collector, glittering scales, good, but the problem is this. Throt the Unclean is here, and even with the army damaged, we're damaged as well. If I had had the foresight to do so, I perhaps should have, I don't think we have the amount of moves remaining to do it. Yeah, should have gotten a Regiment of Renown in here. Is there anything we can do to help us with ancillaries? We get a War Banner. Nobody's using the Razors. Well, I mean, we gave it to Igor, but he doesn't really need it. Give you that. Is Gorge here, or is it just Throt? It is just Throt. We wouldn't be able to chase Throt down, though. I'm just wondering which army should we attack first. This one has assassins plus Throt himself. I'm tempted to say we attack this one and let Throt come in as a reinforcement. The Warp Grinders are relatively slow, so they take a while to get to the battlefield. I'd love to be able to knock out that Warlock Master before Throt makes it onto the field. Now, Throt is quick, and his assassins are also very quick. They are going to be a major issue. I'm not sure. What I am sure of is we still need to take a look at the ancillaries. Get the Scarecrow Banner, I guess. It doesn't really do much other than Vigor. Well, you know what? Get the Gleaming Pennant. Frankly, the Scarecrow Banner isn't going to do anything for us. Kislevite Kossar is not helpful. Valet. Another Tax Collector. Oh, Tax Collector is different from Toll Keeper. Could potentially have a lord in our most money-making province. Anything here would be helpful for us. Stock and Unspottable. I mean, you certainly don't want to be fighting in melee, but with the Glittering Scales, you may have to. Let's get you Shield of Sacri... Oh, no, we can't, because Glittering Scales is more important. You already have magical damage, so the sort of Anti-Heroes probably would be a waste, especially if we lose it. Let's get you the Potion of Toughness. Scroll of Power gives you miscast chance and decreases cooldowns. Wand of Jet Power recharge. Let's go Wand of Jet as for hand weapon and stuff. Hand weapon and talisman. I'm almost tempted to say I don't want to risk the Seed of Rebirth on you. You know what? Let's get the Opal Amulet on you instead for emergencies if the assassins do try to go for you, because I expect they would. And the Sword of Striking, because I don't want to risk a Sword of Anti-Heroes. Alright, like so. Then, once again, we have to figure out which of these two we want to attack, or we could ignore them both and then head back to safety. The main issue is we don't know if there's another stack here.
I am the storm.
And if there is, it will attack you. No way of knowing how many stacks he has. If there's a full stack here, you'll die.
Weaver of the frost.
I suppose what we could do is we could try this. If we win, take off all the items in preparation for this army potentially dying. It's not like we're really risking anything other than the Ice Witch here, which isn't that horrible. Alright, then I guess we no, Throt's gonna be too difficult to bring down. I say we go after this little army first. Alright, let's try this. Hope this doesn't screw us.
Face the frost.
And Pyrrhic Victory again, Throt will come in as a reinforcement, and the auto-resolve is probably lying in our favor. Now, the Razor Standard, I guess we'll put it on one of the units of Kislevite Warriors. War Banner should go on one of these guys, and then the Gleaming Pennant is an aura, so we'll put it on our Lord to stack those auras at TNC bit. 2 uses of the Menace below now, having just used 4, but still good. Now, away we go again. Oh. We're kind of out of time. Yeah, but I'm kind of invested in this, so go.
Mother Winter is with us this day. In cold, Kislev shall triumph. Kislev reigns superiority.
Alrighty, here we go. This is going to be a do-or-die moment for our army, as not only it is a Throt here, but the remnants of the previous army as well. It's definitely going to be a toughie. And is that a Clan Molder Clan Stone? I hope it is, because it's just missing the enemy lord here. Speaking of the enemy lord, he does have those Warp Lightnings available to him, so as soon as we close the distance enough to do damage, and we are attempting to close the distance, he will start casting his Warp Lightnings. And there we go, he's into the Clan Stone now, but will cast his Warp Lightning on us, and then does the most Skaven thing possible and explodes. This isn't us, he miscast and exploded and died. Oh, it's so perfect. The fact that it happened to a Skaven right at the start of the battle is just amazing. And granted, he had 300 HP from the last battle, so a couple of volleys would have killed him off anyway, but this just makes me so happy. Even if we lose this battle, that alone has made the fight worth it to me. Anyway, we've blobbed up, and we gotta do as much damage to this army before Throt's reinforcements arrive. Gonna drop our first Hailstorm, non-overcast on the enemy, and just because they will attempt to get out of the way, but this also forces them to run rather than fire back at our Cossars. With the enemy lord defeated, the enemy will have suffered a morale shock as well, so if we can do enough damage to their infantry, hopefully we can force this first army to rout before Throt arrives. Gotta remember that our own units are fairly heavily damaged. Our best units, in particular the armored Cossars, our only decent unit, is basically destroyed. Enemy's gonna charge on in with those rat ogres, and once again, unfortunately, our Cossars here are not the spear variant, but the infantry variant, or anti-infantry variant. And thus they'll have a little bit of a difficult time against the Rat Ogres, and I guess against Throt when he moves on the field as well. Unfortunately, it looks like the enemy Warp Grinders do manage to get their Seismic Snare and the Warp Quake off, but we do send our mage in to fight them directly. She does have a few items now and activates her Opal Amulet and Potion of Toughness to keep alive while fighting the Warp Grinders. Warp Grinders can be fairly dangerous when surrounding a lord. They can rip a lord apart fairly quickly if you let them, so had to be careful there. Anyway, she has to fight, as she won't be able to fight the assassins or Throt once he makes his way onto the field, and made it he has. Their reinforcements have arrived. Throt is riding a brood horror and thus moves very, very quickly at 100 speed. Not as quickly as Tzarina Katarin on her war sleigh, perhaps, but very quickly nonetheless. We are going to have to ignore him, however. He is too regenerative, has too much HP, and is just too difficult to kill. So we're gonna hope that we can shatter the rest of their army, rattle their bones, and force Throt to rout with the rest of them. Unfortunately, it looks like the first army is not quite given up yet. A few of the units still fighting, though we've chased most of them off now. Just got to get a few more volleys and make sure that neither the Storm Vermin nor Gutter Runner Slingers make their way back into the fray. We are going to have to start feeding Throt and his assassins and summoned Rat Ogres, a bunch of our Kislevite warriors to distract him, and hope that their anti-large will do a decent amount of damage. Damn those debuffs though. Warpstone, Scorch, and Toxic Venom, and I saw something else as well, but it's, I guess, there are 2 dead already. And yeah, basically all of the Kossovite, or Kislevite warriors rather, that have moved into the fray to fight Throt are pretty much done for. Throt has also dropped his Clan Molder Clanstone, or just Molder Clanstone, and down and is healing himself back up. Hopefully he won't be able to heal his infantry, however, as we drop arrow and hailstorms upon him. 1, 2, 3 of our units of Kislevites are destroyed, Kislevite warriors, and these guys are all shattered and running off the field now. So soon it'll only be our Kossars, our range units, that are going to attempt to hold Throt back. Just gonna have to hope that we can destroy the rest of his rats and leave only him remaining. That's the way to win this fight, as there's no way we were going to bring him down. Especially not while fighting the other army. Alright, Kislevite warriors joined by a few Kossars now. We need to keep some melee units in the fray, lest our range units do get overrun by the remaining Storm Vermin and Clan Rats and whatnot. Though unfortunately for us, looks like Throt has decided to start moving on to fighting the range units as well. Taking out a unit of Kossars, and damn, he's up to 213 kill, 14 kills, 15 kills, and 30k damage, 20 kills. Yeah. And we don't have a single sort of elite unit to act as an assassin to kill him off. Speaking of assassins, though, the enemy has separated Throt and his other assassins from each other, which was a great move, as the assassins are able to hold additional units of range back and prevent them from firing, whether it be on Throt or their other units. On the bright side, though, the bounce power is still in our favor, at least a little bit, as we continue trying to force every single enemy unit off. If they're routing, we will continue focusing them down until they're shattered, until hopefully only Throt remains. Our Lord has moved in to try to do a little bit of damage to the assassins. One of the assassins in particular is fairly badly hurt, and we do have that Opal Amulet active, at least for a little while. And I do think that while it is active and among our own units, we can get a few blows in with our Ice Switch. Alright, it looks like the assassins want no part of it, but that works for us, as we're going to back away with the Ice Switch, as well as it is starting to get a little bit dangerous. Throt is still perfectly fine at about, let's say, 85% of his HP, and the assassins still have too much, but the Storm Vermin are starting to fall. And a few more volleys from the Kossars will hopefully see them routing as well, just like pretty much every single one of our units of Kislevite warriors and a decent amount of our Kossars. Alright, Clan Rats and Storm Vermin, how are these guys still fighting? Look at their HP. Finally they break. Damn the AI and their leadership cheats. But at the end of the day, the Kossars managed to send those guys at least scurrying. Another assassin has peeled away and has started to damage our Ice Switch further. And we'll send some Kossars to screen her retreat. Can't have our Lord die, as if she dies the entire army will most likely rout. One of the assassins is down to 15% of its HP. Gotta get a few more volleys into it, and we activate the Gust of Truth Light to increase the accuracy of our units. They'll probably kill off a decent bit of our own Kossars, but it's worth it if we can get this assassin either dead or out of here. Looks like another Molder Clanstone. How many of those does he have? Damn. So much healing. Come on, please go away, assassin. And it looks like at least this assassin will not shatter, will just rout, and will heal a little bit while he does get out of that damn Clanstone. There we go. And, oh! Okay, good. The Clanstone is gone. I thought it would persist on him and got concerned for a second there. Alright, well, that assassin is running. There's no way that we can catch him, and we are very much down in terms of units and ammunition. We have very little ammunition remaining, and both Throt and the other assassin are still fighting. Throt up to nearly 400 kills at this point. Certainly, he's shown up, getting the same kind of kill counts as Tzarina Katarin tends to get, trying to go after our Ice Switch Lord now. Hopefully she doesn't die. Alright, but he'll charge on through. It's a little bit difficult to control that brood horror, I guess, and it has a tendency to get distracted by other things. So we'll try to keep Throt locked in place while we focus him down. Alright, all the rest of the arrows are going to have to hit Throt. He just used his Molder Clan Stone, so hopefully he won't have it for a little while yet, and won't be able to heal off of this. And damn, that is a lot of splash damage. Now these Khazars will be routing fairly quickly, I'm sure. And he's dishing out that additional damage due to the toxin from the Brood Core as well. Alright, how's his HP looking? He has finally reached his healing cap. On the bright side, he has been regenerating this entire time. After all, and is down to about half HP, but the balance of power remains only about, say, 65, maybe 70% in our favor. Most of our army has routed at this point. Only a few units remain, and those units that do are almost all out of ammunition. Just got to keep those units that still have ammo firing, while we send those that have completely run out into the fray to distract Throt for another second. And he's still steady, he's still fresh, and charges into another unit, fortunately one without ammo, and will in fact charge through. And then charge back in. Okay, just keep on sending the ammo-less at him. Balance of power, or not balance of power, the healing cap is still working for us, still coming down. He's locked to about 40% of his HP now, even if he does rout. We're gonna send our Ice Witch in to get a few blows on him, but it looks like finally he will rout, and we just barely managed to carry the day. That was certainly a risky fight. There's no way that we can kill him off any more than we could kill his assassins, but that does mean that the second army is destroyed, and his own army at least is pretty darn beat up. Well done, a Pyrrhic victory, but our lord does manage to survive and prevent these rats from annoying us further. Oh, a very, very close fight. 514 kills and 75,000 damage on Throt the Unclean. We really just had no way to do anything about him with only basic troops like this. Him or his assassins, all of which were quite the problem. But nonetheless, yeah, gotta risky to get the bisky, and risky we did. And we did come out on top, if just barely. So, I wish I knew how much movement we had remaining. We should heal, and if we can, try to destroy Throt's army for good, depending on how far he makes it from here. And he's running. No, we can't reach him. I should have taken the money instead. Oh, well, 15% extra hit points for our lord, but as to whether she survives another turn, I'm not sure. In fact, I have my doubts about it. We can go into our own territory, and I guess that is the only thing we can do here. Like so. We are still not far away from Gorich, which means he would be able to attack us. What we could do is get a regiment of renown or two and attempt to survive this. I'm kind of attached to this lord now. Frostworm, Guardian Cull, etc., etc. Would anything here be particularly helpful? Well, against piles of enemies, Biting Wind could work. It wouldn't help against Throt. This is the one rare situation where the direct damage ability would have helped us. But anyway, I think regardless of that, we are very much out of time. That was the 4th battle, so I'm gonna have to call it here. It's been an interesting few episodes, I think, as we have made some headway. We are negative in money. We're at war with everybody around us. Oh, but it's going real fine. Gonna call it here. Next time, we see what we can do about the rest of Throt, Azazel, and, well, formerly Clan Ferrix and territories. So stay tuned for more. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold for the hour-long episode continuation. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.